Oof.
All
Okay.
right, we're here.
We're recording.
Finally, the episode that will break us up. Are you ready?
Yes. I've got a bit. Do you have a bit?
You do it. You do it. You do it.
Yeah. All right. There's no fucking bit. Let's fucking go. No, you're not doing the goddamn intro. Thank you for joining us today on this episode of The Rollback. My name is Eddie. I am joined by,
I'm Chema.
it doesn't matter. And today we're talking about the Joker, Folie Deux. Folie Deux, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. In this film, a struggling with his dual identity, failed comedian Arthur Fleck meets the love of his life, Harley Quinn, while incarcerated at Arkham State Hospital. Chema, tell me, what did you think of this incredible masterpiece?
Do you want me to go like
That
off?
that was
Like
the bit.
that was the bit?
That was the bit.
All right, can I start going off now?
Uh, Wait, we got to do the right intro. Let's fucking go. The bit was I called it a masterpiece.
Thank you for welcoming us into your headphones. My name is Chema.
I am Jack Napier. Let's go with that.
Reviewing Joker Folie Deux, and this is the rollback. The world is a stage. While struggling with his dual identity, Arthur Fleck not only stumbles upon true love, but also finds the music that's always been inside of him. This is the new sequel to the movie Joker from 2019, directed once again by director Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga, Brendan Gleeson, Catherine Keener, Sassy Beats, Steve Coogan, and other colorful characters.
Is it fair to say, Todd?
Wait,
What's up? What the fuck?
I'm letting loose today.
uh,
That was my bit. Okay.
well, folks, that was great for a podcast. Well, as we all know, Todd Phillips is amazing with sequels. Just look at the powerhouse, the tour de force that is The Hangover Part 2 and Hangover Part 3. So clearly, Joker Folie à Deux would break that streak, and I would say continue that streak.
So let's start from the top, you know. Let's start from the top.
I,
Before we even talk about this one, let's talk about our thoughts about the original one, and then we can jump into this one. Just real quick, I was famously not a fan of the first one. I thought it was kind of bland. I thought it was literally just Todd Phillips looking at Scorsese's homework and copying it. I thought it was just another version of Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, just with DC characters. I thought the reaction by the incel community was absolutely stupid and ridiculous. I thought the best things about the movie were the performance by Joaquin Phoenix and the music by Hilder. So I was kind of okay with just that. But I did find it to be kind of a. It ended up being kind of a harmless movie. Like, what did the movie cost besides like a ton of memes that we still use to this day? The idea of making a sequel to me sounded pretty stupid, but here we are. We got the sequel. Your thoughts on the original one? It was your number one of that year, I think.
I think so. It might have been shit. What else came out
Yeah.
2019? I think it might have been. I really enjoyed the introspective look. I like the term grounded is used way too fucking often, but I don't think it can get more grounded than than a movie that's as grimy and ugly and mean as the Joker, the first one. Which I actually went back to go watch it. And funny enough, I have in my notes, it was a great movie with a message until the incel boys turned the message and tried to claim it for their own. And then I put here in my notes, damn you all to hell. So that's what we think of incels here at the rollback. But that said, the original Joker really enjoyed it, like the message. And if you want a testimony to how good it is, Nikki really liked it, and she is as like general of a fan as there can be, right? Like she sees the flaws when I don't. There is no rose tinted glasses, and when she felt for him, felt sorry for him, felt pity for him, and was like, it's not justified but I know where he's coming from. The whole him like breaking down and everything, and his poor life, and this poor dude who's actively asking for help. Hey, I'm gonna hurt someone. All I tell you is that I have bad thoughts. Please help me. And the system turns its back on him, which is something that's too common. Great. So the first one I really liked, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think we can be honest with the audience. Neither one of us liked Joker Folie Deux. Am I right on that?
That is correct. I was not a fan of this movie at all. Um,
But I think before we dive into, we're gonna fight. I think we're gonna argue because
yeah.
I would argue we don't like it for separate reasons. You don't like it straight up. I don't like it because I can see what it could have done. And I think those are the differences that we're gonna have.
And we have this argument every time we disagree. You tend to see the movies as what they could be, and I decide to see them as what they are.
Hmm.
And I no doubt that you have, and you see the movie and you kind of fill the gaps of like, well, I would do this and I would do this, and that makes that it's really good. And it's like I can't do that. I can't, not because of lack of creativity. It's just because this is I cannot judge the movie if it's like liking a movie because I read a fanfic where I really like that I really like with the same characters. It's like that's I can't do that. I can only like it for what it is.
To be fair,
And
I am gonna
yeah,
criticize it. I'm not gonna criticize it for what I wish they had done. I'm gonna criticize it because of the things where I see that they failed. For the record, I'm not saying I
okay.
liked it because of my rewrites or because of my thought.
Okay. All right. Let's start from the bottom. First of all, Todd Phillips, you person, human or person, I assume, this man's took $200 million from Warner Brothers, took one of their most valued IPs into a movie that is shitting on the first one and on the audience, on its fans, on its haters, and there's like a part of me that like low key respects it.
Wha- Okay,
But does that make it a good movie? No, but I kind of like where he was going with it. Does that make sense?
yeah. So here's the thing, and I think there's going to be a lot more back and forth than we're used to. Normally, the discussion
Yeah,
is you talk, I talk, you talk, I talk. I think
yeah,
there's going to be a lot more back and forth in this episode, folks.
yeah.
Which, if this gets the views, fuck it. I guess I'll be more fighty from now on. Let's go. I'm not scared. I'll go.
We can't
But
fake this. This is just genuine. Like,
no, but I
yeah,
can I can like chug two energy drinks and just fight you the whole episode. Like I can learn how to do that. But okay, so when it comes to Todd Phillips, I'm going to start with this. I respect him for the fact that he tried something different. Did it work? I
no,
would argue no, but I respect because what do we bitch about all the time? What do we always bitch about is, oh my God, this movie is cookie cutter, it's basic, it's predictable. How often are we like, oh, I knew he was the killer. Like I knew he was the killer. Of course we fucking knew he was the killer. Fuck this guy.
yeah,
We hate predictability, right? Especially the hardcores like you and me that watch films all the fucking time. Anyone listening to this that watches movies all the goddamn time, I'm sure on some degree it bugs you that it's hard to be surprised. So I'll give Todd Phillips this before we go into spoilers, especially that ending. I will give him credit for having the balls to go in directions no one else thought. Again, I'm not saying it worked, but we're never going to get more originality if we keep doing what we expect. And I'll give him that credit. I'll give him those flowers in that way. I respect him for trying to do something different. Again, did it work?
no. I'll
Well,
say it. I'll say it. Look, here's the thing.
mhm.
Yes, the first one is heavily criticized by being just King of Comedy and Taxi Driver, just with DC characters on top. And this one, I saw a Letterboxd review that pretty much just put it in the right spin. Like this feels like when a kid got 100 for copying an exam, and then he gets moved into a different chair, and then he gets a zero because now he has no one to copy. Like, okay, there's an idea here, but what is this? What is this movie? It's a recap of the first movie where very little happens. It's just telling us, the audience that saw the first movie, what happened in the first movie. We're introduced to this to a Harley Quinn character played by Lady Gaga. And what she does is also a little inconsequential. She's kind of the stand-in for the audience because she's like, I love you because you're a killer. And then it's just like, I'm not a killer. I'm actually the victim. And she's like, I hate you. Like, it's literally the autopsy of why the movie itself failed. Like people wanted to see the Joker, this Joaquin Phoenix Joker turn into the Clown Prince of Crime, and no, we see him suffer. We see him going through shit. We see him stuck in that jail. We see him being manipulated by this woman, and then
Abused by
it
the
ends
guards.
abused by the guards also. And which, by the way, Brendan Gleeson, I love this actor. I'm so glad I could see him in a movie like this. Um,
So
we see all of this, and it's like, okay, what the fuck do we gain from this? What is this? You know, like what's the lesson that we already felt bad for how they treated him in the first one. Is this fetish? Like, is this kink? Is this just us? Because let me tell you something. We can applaud like, oh, or it's original because it's a musical. It's a half-ass musical. And I say this as someone who likes musicals, who, when they said this is going to be a musical, I said, fuck it, bring it in. Go all out. But no, what is this? A
you know,
musical is supposed to use songs to push the story forward. All of these songs are about the same topic, and they're only like spliced into the movie whenever there's like a breather. They literally do not advance the movie. They do not advance the characters. They do not represent the characters. They are just there to fill in time. What, in the words of Ron Swanson, never half-ass two things, whole ass one thing. And that music, that was a sorry excuse for a musical.
see,
Yeah.
but see, okay, I thought, what would you do? How much? Oh, God damn it. Okay, I wish he had gone full Wonka on this. Fuck it. If you're gonna be a musical, go all in. Give us set pieces. Give us choreography. Give us a wide cast that can fucking go. And I
Mhm.
would have been with it. I would have been like, fuck it, let's go. Make it a musical. I wish they had Wonka fight this. As someone who doesn't love musicals, I can enjoy them if they're good. I only like Sweeney Todd and Wonka and High School Musical 2. That's the best one. But I'm joking about High School Musical. They can all fucking go to hell.
First
But
of all, you're wrong. The third one is the best one. So,
no, get your head in the game, bitch. Anyway, as someone who's not a big fan of musicals, I wish that they had gone all the way with it. At the very least, fuck it. If you're gonna go, go all in. And that's one of the notes. Is it feels like it's trying to be too many things at once. And again, I want to dive into that as I go. I literally have a schematic of this film and the breakdown of like why is this not working? Because I'm like, they had such a good foundation and they had so much they could build off of. Which, folks, shameless plug. In my hope is in 2 weeks, I'm gonna put a rewrite of Joker 2, and I think it's better. I don't say this confidently in saying I am a better writer than Todd Phillips. I'm gonna say this. I think I know the Joker better than Todd Phillips. I'll say that. Um,
Todd
but anyway,
Phillips famously said that he's not a fan of comic books. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, and I hope to put it out there. We need to keep people who don't care about comics away from comic book
that's how you
movies.
get Zack Snyder. That's how you get killing Batman and second death Superman, who raises Batman's cuckolded child. Which I didn't know that that was the storyline for Snyderverse. Did you know that?
No, and I hate life now that I know that.
You're welcome.
Like a little bit. Anyway, point is that this
Let's
fuck
dive
is
into
this,
Arkham.
man? It's okay.
Let's dive into Arkham.
Uh,
We're because it's gonna be easy to just keep throwing shit at this film. I think we need to, if we're gonna throw shit, let's at least do it in an orderly fashion.
okay. So the movie starts and we spent pretty much, I'm gonna say 95% of the movie we spent that either on Arkham or in the trial.
I agree.
Like and also here's the thing. How do you fuck up a trial movie? Like I love trial movies. Like I love movies like this. Like you can make they're so good. And they made this. This is my what do I always say it's the worst thing that a movie can be?
Boring.
This is boring. How do you make a movie that has that like half of it spends time in a trial boring? Because we see Arthur in jail, and we see him. He has a report with the cops. He has a report. I mean, with the guards. He has a report with a couple of people inside of the jail. People don't seem to hate him. Some people seem to have enjoyed his message in the first one. And we constantly have this back and forth with the guards who are always telling him like, "Hey Arthur, tell us a joke. Hey Arthur, tell us a joke." And we see like his relationship with Jackie, who's played by Brendan Gleeson, who I love this actor. I absolutely love this actor. It was really cool to see him in a movie like this,
Was he Mad
especially
Eye Moody?
after, yes, he was Mad Eye Moody.
Fucking knew I
And
recognized him from Harry Potter. I was like,
yeah,
I know he's not Hagrid, but who the fuck is he?
yeah, he's
He's one of the
no,
gruffy sandwich.
the
Okay.
actor who played Hagrid died last
I
year.
know, that's why I was like,
Yeah,
I know it's not Hagrid. So who the fuck
yeah,
is this guy? I can only
that's
place him
true.
as Hagrid.
Yeah, no, this is Mad Eye Moody. He was nominated for an Oscar last year, and it's really
Oh,
cool to see.
for God, the one with the violin and the sheep,
Yeah,
oh, the
the
doctor, whatever.
Banshees of Inisherin.
That
Yes,
one.
really
Uh,
good one.
but
He's really good
but
in this.
I don't like. I think the first fault in this one is the fact that in Arkham, Arthur is not a feared man. Like, let's make no mistake. From the first film, in the first film, the story, the line is Arthur goes through this transformation. Like he's a man on the brink, and then finally he snaps and kills two people in self-defense, but one in cold blood, right? And then he's slowly like going, and then he meets with his fake dad, Thomas Wayne, and that snaps him a little more. He kills his mom, kills a bully, and then kills his idol, right? He's deteriorating. But here's the thing: we broke that part of him. We went beyond the point where he was supposed to be pathetic and like easily manipulated and fooled. Theoretically, we broke that. Like we went through it. Now he's on the other side of a character change, of a character arc. I don't understand. I'm not saying he has to be like the baddest guy in Arkham, be like, you don't want to fuck with me. I'm not saying that. But the fact that no one is scared of him, the fact that the guards make fun of him. Like, okay, there's a scene in particular where one of the guards, I guess it's Jackie,
Yes.
gives him a cigarette, and Arthur says thanks, and then he like taps him on the back, and the guy slaps him in the back of the head. Do you think that the same dude who started a riot and set Gotham ablaze would take that? The dude who got his own blood and did a smile across his face and murdered his psychiatrist in Arkham would not take that. And I'm not saying, God, how do I say this? I'm not saying this has to be a power fantasy for the incel dipshits. Again, if you listen to this and you're an incel, go fuck yourself, turn this off. But what I'm trying to say is that you're on the other side of the character arc. You go forward with that fucking character arc. The
No,
fact that
but
no one fears him. What?
Eddie, you have to understand, this is not the Joker. Todd Phillips said so himself. This is not the Joker.
Don't stop letting. I'll go fucking chime out from 10 minutes ago. Stop
Yeah.
letting directors that don't like comic books direct comic book films. All right, it worked once with Nolan, and I'm not even confident in that one, saying that he wasn't a comic book fan. It worked
Yeah.
once. All right, Snyder dropped the ball. Todd Phillips, fuck off. I don't know who else has directed a bad film that doesn't like comic books. Pick one of the ones from the MCU. Anyway, point fucking being is.
Anyway,
That
look,
was my first thing was the fact that no one at Arkham was scared of him. It's like he lost his spark. He snapped.
here's the thing.
Follow.
You're saying like, oh, he caused a riot. I think, look, there's a possibility that there is smartness in these two movies, and I'm convinced that if there is, it's completely by accident. Because if what they're trying to do is tell the story of this broken man from a broken home with a broken life, and it's supposed to be about a system that like he says in the when he's about to kill De Niro in the first one, about a society that forgets and lets their mental ill just abandons them. There is a change in this one because the first one is about that. The second one is a little bit about how society not only forgets them but manipulates them, and that's when Lady Gaga comes in. But we'll get into that in a second. Why don't the people in Arkham fear him? Because he had like a moment of chaos in the first one where he goes crazy, but that's not who he is. And the whole movie, Catherine Keener is trying to prove like, hey, no, this is a double personality thing. It's BSD, it's borderline personality disorder. And there's a moment in the end that I did like. I did like this moment when he takes the stool, sits in front of the jury, and just says like, there's not there's not another personality. It's me. Like it's straight up. And that's the moment when like Gaga like leaves and everybody and all of his like audience kind of
Wait,
gives up on him. This, sadly, is not like Todd Phillips said. This is not the Joker. You're right. This is not the Joker, but there's a fucking problem with these two movies. You know what the problem is?
they call Joker.
They're called Joker. That's the problem.
See, they could have. Okay, if you wanted to tell the story of this dude breaking down, call it chaos or something, and have the dude wear clown makeup, but don't fucking call it Joker. Just have him wear a weird clown makeup or something. But no, you wanted the IP, and that's fine. But if you're going to use the IP, you need to have some fucking respect for it. It's like, it's like if I own a McDonald's and I start selling fried chicken out of it. Like, I'm sorry, you can't do that. This is fucking McDonald's. There are expectations. If you're going to use the name, you have to follow the expectations to some degree. We'll give you a wide berth. Just look at that first one. We let you name him and give him an origin story, but you can't fake us out and be like, JK, guys, it was never the Joker the whole time. Like, no, I'm sorry. You're not playing 4D chess. You're a dumbass with his thumb up his ass. With all due respect, Mr. Phillips. Um, with all due
Did you
respect,
saw
that
that? Did you saw that he didn't go to the premieres and the whole weekend where the movie premiered? He said that they
he was
said
at
that
a ranch.
he was at a ranch. Yeah,
You fucking coward.
yeah.
If you're
Now,
at least own your shit. At least own it. You're like, oh, some people aren't gonna get it.
I have a question, and again, this is where we're gonna bring in the whole situation about how is this movie smart by accident? Because again, this is if this is what it is, like I said, it might be smart by accident. Is this trying to be a commentary about our obsession with serial killers and like
Yes.
criminals? Like, do we sit down and like listen to these stories? Like the movie keeps mentioning this made for TV movie about the Joker, and everyone loves it, and oh, apparently it's so good. Is it telling us that this is what happens in real life? These people are sick, there's no happy ending for them, and it's wrong of us to want entertainment out of it?
Yes, I fully agree with you on that. It is doing that on purpose. Here's the thing. It's the same thing as the musical. It doesn't completely commit to it. If it would commit to being fucking, I'm gonna fast forward in my notes real quick. Look, if it would commit to being, it doesn't commit to being a musical. It doesn't commit to being a courtroom drama. It does not commit to being a true crime narrative. It does not commit to being oblique introspective at what the broken justice system is and the broken healthcare system is that left Arthur to die. It doesn't commit to even being a fucking Joker movie. That's the thing. Find something and commit to it. You can commit to multiple things, but you can't half-ass any of them. That's not the way it works. Um, I would argue you're right. It is trying to be a somewhat of a commentary on the whole true crime obsession that honestly I am a part of. I'm not gonna lie to you. I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. Here's the thing. If you're gonna do that, I respect it. Go all the way. Or don't do it at all. Like fucking Ron Swanson. Half-ass nothing, whole-ass everything. Maximum fucking Deadpool effort. Jesus. Um, which from there, I would like to jump into his very broken, odd relationship with one Miss Harley Quinzel, which
No,
I
no, no,
actually
no. This is not Harley Quinn. This is Lee Quinsell.
fuck
It's
off,
different.
fuck off.
God, you
Um,
know everything about her reminded me of. Oh, I saw this with you. Remember the American Death Note?
yes.
Remember how they Margaret Qualley plays like
Oh,
supposed to be Misa, but it's not Misa. It's Mia. But instead of like playing this character the way that Misa is, she plays her as this like evil character like that plays light, and you know it's literally the same thing here. It's just
see, here's the thing.
yeah,
I think it's fair to say I'm the hardcore fan of the two of us in DC.
yeah.
I don't hate the idea of Harley being the devil on his shoulder. I don't hate the idea of her pushing him and being like, yeah, murder the guy. I don't hate the concept of her pushing it, almost like an inverse of Mad Love, where Joker pushes her to be the criminal. In this one, she pushes him to re-embrace it. I don't hate that idea and the concept. But again, if
Commit to it.
yes, if you're gonna do that, I am fucking let's fucking go. a version where maybe Harley kills Arthur in the end, and she takes over as the Joker, as this leader of this riot mob, of this anarchist group. I am all for it. Hey, he wouldn't commit, so I am.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go there. But commit. And they don't. And I like that they fuck with her origin story. She's still a psychologist with a background, but her parents are rich. And
Yeah.
she voluntarily checked herself in to find Arthur. That is some actual shit that I believe would happen with a sycophantic fan. Fucking I think Lyle Menendez got married in jail after murdering both his parents, which that's a whole other crock to deal with. But the fact is, there are fangirls that are crazy like this. I'm cool with that. If that's the story you're gonna tell, go for it. But don't you fucking dare half-ass it.
Yeah, because look, we have this character, and that was a cold reveal. I love that reveal. Like when Catherine Keener, who plays his lawyer, comes in and it's like, yeah, no, she's lying to you. Like she's doing all this, and Fleck is just there with a cigarette. Like I don't know, man. She just gets me. Like yeah,
I
like that's
don't hate that.
yeah, there's something there that is kind of working until she puts the whole idea of like, because like she says like she's pregnant, and then we don't get a reveal if that's true or not, which like it's most likely not true, but she's probably like a compulsive liar. Um,
I
random tangent, but you know how a lot of people were mentioning to him the whole thing with the stairs?
yeah.
Nobody saw him at the stairs. How do they know?
I don't fucking know. You know what, man? How the fuck did everyone come back to life and T'Challa rallied the forces in like 4 minutes and was like, "Fuck it, we're all gonna fight. Let's go."
Because
Shut
yeah,
up, movie magic.
because they
Shut
have
up.
communication. Anyway, no, but this movie
How did
insists on
Godzilla
being
blast all the
realistic.
way to the center of the
This
earth?
this movie insists on being realistic and like, oh, it's like the real take. It's grounded. Oh, it's doing all that shit. What is this? Who is this for? Like, I hate saying that. I hate being that guy. But what is this? What purpose does it have? Because I read something yesterday that I cannot stop thinking about. And if it's true, this movie's made out of fucking hate, man. Did you
Was
hear the thing about Nolan?
that he nixed the thing about the scars
Yeah,
and shit?
so let me break it down. In the first movie, there's the moment after like Joker gets freed from the cop car and the riot starts. Everyone's cheering for him. He gets on the car. He takes the blood from his mouth and makes the smile. Originally, he was going to cut himself and have those be the scars. Nolan's, who still was at Warner Brothers, jumped in and said like, "My Joker does that. No other Joker has that. Can that stay as just my Joker thing?" And Warner Brothers could have very easily been like, "Fuck off," but no, they were like, "No, no, Nolan, you made us a lot of money. You gave us a lot of awards. Thank you for what you've done. Sure, we'll respect your wishes." And they didn't do that. And then the second one comes out, and I don't want to jump too far at the end, but we have a moment where
A
at the end,
character.
a character who we kind of saw just in the background. I don't think they even mentioned his name. He's just a random inmate. Goes up to Fleck near the end of the movie and tells him a joke that doesn't really have an end, doesn't have a punchline. Stabs him, leaves him to die, and then sits back and starts cutting off his own face to make those scars. And apparently they did that because, well, Nolan is not at Warner Brothers anymore, so we're free to do whatever we want.
Okay,
Which,
people have
if
done a lot
they
of spiteful shit. I don't think they
what
made an entire movie just to do that part.
they did, well, they added that, and I do think that that's their way of being like, hey, look, this is Heath Ledger's Joker. Like, rah, 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 everything's connected. It's like, didn't you want it to be like an Elseworlds thing? Didn't you want it to be like another? So, because like, there's a part of me that thinks, why are we complaining? It's supposed to be a different interpretation. Sure, it might not work, but it's a different interpretation. But then why are you connecting it back to what does exist? What is this?
Well, to be fair, God, I'm giving them too much credit. I'm not going to defend them. I will say this though. He's not the first character. The Joker is not the first character to have a Glasgow smile. For the love of God, it's called a Glasgow smile.
I know, but
But yeah.
knowing this Nolan story, it feels ugly, man. It feels uh,
It, it doesn't change anything for me, honestly. It's like Nolan, there's no part of him that's losing any sleep to that. He's too busy working on his next Oscar. There's no part of Christopher Nolan that's like, but that was my Joker. He's like, somewhere Nolan is just maybe smoking a cigarette or pipe, just being like, I did more in with a 20-minute performance than you fuckers did in two movies. Just saying.
uh,
But
uh,
but
is
okay,
it,
so
and so here's the thing. Also, like, I'm sorry, but it's like I'm not even a fan of the first one, and I felt hurt by this. Like, this is
I honestly, I think after the gauntlet that was Joker Folie Deux, the last the last 7 minutes, you can't hurt me. I'm already hurt. You can't fire me. I'm already fired. Like what are you gonna do to me, huh? I've already been shot and killed and murdered. You already took everything from me. You already burned down my house and pissed on the fucking ashes. What more can you do? Huh? Huh? You're gonna call me mean words? Fuck you.
you
Like
want to
I
know the bright spot of this?
no.
Okay,
What was the price spot?
there won't be a third one.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe DC wants to do another whatchamacallit, another write-off, another tax write-off.
I mean, and I hate to always bring this up. I
I
hate
know.
to do it, but they killed off Batgirl and they let this come out.
I can't defend Batgirl. I won't argue for it or against it because I don't know the quality of it. So, yeah. Um, but what was it? So I want to talk about Harley because we did talk about a little bit about Harley.
Yeah,
The whole thing about whether or not she was pregnant, I wish they had mentioned it, and I wish. Okay, I wish they had mentioned it and talked more about it. I wish that they had spent more time together. In the previews, there's a scene where they're on the steps of the courthouse and Joker's doing his like kick thing and she does like this weird like thrust with her hips.
yeah.
And that wasn't
Where
even in the
is that
goddamn movie.
scene?
I think it was
Yeah,
cut. I think that was a musical that was cut. And here's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. If you're going to commit to the bit of it being a musical, go all the way and have the rioters be in on the musical and be dancing and using their posters as like props as they're dancing. Like commit, go all the way with it or not at all. And I wish they had continued on. Um, I want to talk about real quick because I mentioned that this film tries to be a critique of the justice system, the mental health care system, and how it fails. There's a part where they're checking to see is he even competent to stand trial. And I wish they had made a point of saying, like, no, you're just picking on this guy like everyone else has his whole life because it's an election year and a good conviction will help you get reelected. You don't care about justice. You don't care about the fact that there's two personalities in there. You don't care about his mental break. All you care about is being reelected. His death in the electric chair is going to be on your fucking hands. Both
but that's
at
what
the. Hmm?
the lawyer did try to argue for that. That's why she was
But they
pushing
didn't
for
make a good
the.
point, but they didn't do enough. Again, if you're gonna
Oh yeah,
commit,
because she gets fired halfway through. Yeah.
exactly, if you're gonna fucking commit, go all the way with it and have her have that scene where she's yelling at Dent and the judge.
Oh my
In
God. Can we talk about Dent? Like
I didn't care for it. I did like, oh look, it's Harvey Dent. I don't care. Fucking, they should have made
fucking
it
wasted.
Janet Van Dyne.
Jenna Van Dyne is in
Oh, sorry,
from
Janet Van Dorn.
Marvel.
My bad.
Okay. Um,
It's a D.
I thought the fucking fan service where after the bomb he's laying there and half of his face is burned off. It's like get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, were you expecting people to be like, I didn't recognize that? Like, that's fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. You stop trying to connect this to everything else. Why do you want to be so separate and then also want it to connect? Be fucking concise. Be fucking like make sense. Okay?
You know what was probably my biggest disappointment from the first Joker, as much as I loved it?
Yeah.
I saw somewhere that there was a fan pic of Joker of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker
Yeah.
near the Batman car from the 1960s show. Like it was Joaquin Phoenix's Joker near the car. It was a picture, like a set picture. And I thought to
Okay.
myself, no fucking way. No fucking way.
I
Are
don't
they
remember that from the movie. Did they cut that or?
No, no, it wasn't in the film. It might have just been like a coincidence that like, oh hey, we
Oh,
have this.
okay.
Hey, you want to take a picture or something? Uh,
Oh, okay.
but man, I was like, what if they jump forward like 20 years and like Bruce is like,
Ugh.
motherfucker, I'm here, and Arthur's just like, huh, finally. I don't know.
Well, we're not gonna have that ever because he's dead.
Mm,
You know who gives the best performance in this movie?
Joaquin Phoenix?
Uh, Somebody edges him out a little bit. Lee Gill, who plays Gary Puddles. I thought
Oh, that
there
was
wasn't
heartbreaking.
there wasn't like a dry eye or like you could hear a pin drop after he left like the movie. Uh, what a like he already has one of those voices that just makes you go like, oh God, like
Protect.
yeah, like oh God, save him. But the way that he would talk and the way that he's acting circles around everyone. Because for some reason during his deposition scene, Arthur Fleck decides to do like a Southern lawyer impression, um, which I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of a Joker move. That is kind of something that the Joker would do. Like
Yeah.
it's not he almost sounded a little bit like Mark Hamill when he was doing that. I don't know if you noticed.
I'll be honest with you, I did not.
I did not hate it that, but it really took me out because it's like that's the cartoony thing that I kind of expect from a Joker. But I remember, oh, they're trying to make this realistic, they're trying to make this grounded, and Lee Gill is just acting circles, man. Like he's genuinely sounds so scared, so worried, so stressed. And when he starts saying like, I had to stop working, I couldn't sleep, I'm so stressed, like all this happened, like why? Why did you do this? And it's funny because when he shows up, all of the Joker's followers are in the courtroom, and they're all laughing at him. Like the second that he comes in, and when he gets let go, there's not a single sound coming from that audience. They're all feeling for him, and none of them, and all of them are starting to think like, are we the bad guys? Like what are we doing? That I thought was effective. That I thought was really really good. Um,
I,
yeah.
I'll say this. You're completely right in his testimony. I think, again, I wish they had committed to it. The fallout that happens after crimes, because we focus so much on movies or in the news, even about the initial actions of a shooting or a shooter or a murder or that kind of stuff, any kind of major crime. So rarely do we focus in on the victims of the crime or even the bystanders and how it affects them. You know, for this guy, testifying that he can't sleep, he's stressed, he can't work. It's the first time in his life that he felt afraid and helpless again, right?
Yeah.
There are hundreds upon thousands of innocent victims, whether it's, people that survived a school shooting, people that survived a mugging, people that survived a home invasion or an assault, who go through this kind of experience and this pain and this trauma. I wish this movie had taken the responsibility to commit to that as far as like, hey, I know you all like all this shit, but there is a human casualty to all this blood entertainment that you enjoy. And I wish they had gone all the way with it. And I think what that was meant to do was break Arthur. I think Arthur was trying to embrace the Joker persona and being like, yeah, I can do this. But then after that cross-examination and that testimony, no, I can't do this. I can't be a monster, not to this guy, not to the world. If he had said, and I understand the whole like, oh, show don't tell. Fucking tell if you can't show it. I wish he had said, I can't be the Joker if it means hurting innocent people like him. I'm not gonna apologize for those other six murders, but I do apologize for what he felt, and I'm sorry that I made him feel that way. I wish they had committed to that, but again, none of the fucking cojones to do it. Fuck. By the way, for the record, if we did do I don't think we're gonna do a top 10 worst movies of 2024, but just spoiler alert, if we did, this would be my number one. Let's get back into the film. Um, a failed justice system.
I mean, is it a failed justice system? I mean, here's the thing. When we get to the part where he's pretty much about to lose, well, he lost because like he gets like convicted. And that bomb like kicks in. I generally thought like the movie doesn't even know what they're what where we're going. Like just because I couldn't tell that that was gonna happen doesn't mean it's what I
Wanted.
wanted to happen
Yeah.
or I'm happy with that happening because it's like okay, cool. You got to do a oneer. You get to do like a one shot, no cuts. Cool. I like those, but it's like why are you throwing so much at the board? Like, why are you not taking like two, three things and have them develop and making them work? Because oneers they can work, but I was more distracted. I was like, wait, what? What are we doing? And then he like leaves and like he goes to the stairs, like he meets with Harley, and Harley's singing, and then like,
Which
he goes, he says the most offensive thing I've ever heard, which he has Lady Gaga in front of him singing to him, and he goes like, "Stop singing." It's like, who the fuck would say that to Lady Gaga if she was singing to you to your face? Um,
I don't know, man. A guy that's on the run from the death penalty might be like, "Hey, I know you want to sing, sweetheart. Can we like run real quick and like get the fuck out of here, and then you can keep singing. You can sing to me while we're living in fucking Mexico, and I'm not like,
oh, we don't want them.
fine,
Get the fuck out of here. That's
you're up,
that we have universal health care. You can fuck up over there with
so
that.
you can help him."
No,
Um, but
no, no.
wait, real quick, we jump over a lot of things.
Not since you fuckers started doing that thing in Sinaloa. Like no, no.
What thing is Sinaloa?
Okay, small tangent. Are you familiar with the state of Sinaloa?
Gee, I just said, what the fuck do you mean Sinaloa? So no.
Sinaloa is a state in Mexico, and it is well known for having beautiful beaches where there is strong banda music playing at all times live. So you kind of go there to listen to that and to party and to drink caguamas and that's kind of the appeal.
Uh-huh.
A ton of United Statesers, so I refuse to call you all Americans. A ton of people from the US started immigrating. You're not expats, you're immigrants. Use the right fucking word. Started immigrating to Sinaloa, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can live here while I work from home. It's fantastic." And then they get there, and they're like, "What the fuck is up with all this banda music? Turn it off! You're ruining it for us." And it's like, no, you show up to Sinaloa, you can't stop them the
The
beach
music.
musicians.
You
That
can't
is
stop
what they're
the
for.
music.
Exactly. You can't do that. So a lot of immigrants from the US to Mexico started to submit complaints and being like, we don't like that they're playing the music. It's like, why the fuck would you go to Sinaloa then? If I went to Nashville and I was like, there's too much country music, you should turn it off, I would get shot on sight.
Oh, it's painful how accurate that is.
So fuck you all. Anyway, the point is that they started complaining, and all the Sinaloa musicians started rallying outside of hotel rooms and just playing really loud music
Play
24/7.
louder.
Yes, they started doing that. So
Good for them.
wonderful. Because out of all the people you don't want to fuck with is the Sinaloans. Like
Well, I was gonna say musicians because they're already dead inside. What are you gonna do? Hurt them?
exactly. No, no, those musicians play from the heart. Anyway, point is, we don't fucking want y'all. That's y'all's problem. Your society created them. Like we're not. No, no.
And, and that was our break. Talking about movies, talking about sociological, political issues in
Yeah,
Sinaloa. Thank you, Chema, for that break. Now back to the bullshit.
de
Uh,
nada.
the bomb. You know what's funny? The whole time I'm trying to be enthralled. I'm trying to be like, okay, there has to be something here. He's too smart for it to be this bad. What am I missing? The bomb
Ooh,
goes off, and Nikki literally says, "Finally, something."
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, also, real quick, I want to mention something. I laughed out loud once in this whole movie. Can you guess the one scene that I laughed my ass off at?
When Jackie like slaps him in the back of the
No.
head.
No, I
Which
was
one?
offended. I was like, Joker, you gonna let him punk you out like that?
Who? What's in then?
It was the scene where he was talking to his lawyer on the phone, and the guy says, "Hey, can you send this book for me?" And he says, "Oh, it'll be worth a fortune when he fries." And he crosses out the "I hope you have a happy day" or something. He says, "Right,
Yeah,
I hope you get cancer." Frowny face.
yeah.
I laughed more of that, please. More of that fucked up humor because you know what? Who's gonna correct the fucking Joker? Oh wait, he's not the fucking Joker. But going back, the bomb, fair enough, right? I believe his followers are crazy enough to try and help him escape. Okay, all right, that's where we're gonna go. He's the leader of this cult and he's ill-equipped to lead. Fine, fuck it, I'll go there with you. Then he runs away and they get hit by vehicles. Fair fucking enough. He's trying to get away. He goes up the stairs and meets Harley. I am dead convinced that was not her. There's a part right before that where she holds a gun to her head. I'm pretty sure she popped that motherfucker. I think the Harley that we see on the steps, because of how changed her look is and everything, I'm convinced that that's not Harley. That is a figment of his imagination. Because think about it, she walks off and she walks away from the stairs, and the cops don't jump at her. We see the cops getting out of their vehicles, and they don't
Yeah.
look at her for a second. They rush for Arthur. You're telling me that there was not a moment where they were like, "Hey, get the woman that has the fucking clown makeup helping the Joker escape." Come on.
I think you're right. I think it is open to interpretation, but I think your interpretation is right. I do think yeah, I don't think she's there at all, which kind of explains. But here's the thing, because there's a lot of inconsistency in the character. Because look, for example, the Joker in this one is not laughing maniacally out of nowhere like in the first one. Like in the first one, they're very explicit to be like it's a mental condition, and in this one, they kind of do it whenever he remembers that he can do it.
Yeah.
So there's not that. And there's a moment when he's with her and she tells him like, I think you should stop taking your meds. And he goes like, I already stopped. Ah. It's like you don't act he doesn't act different from when he does to when he doesn't.
See,
Like he's kind of subdued at the first at the beginning, but there is like that madness still there. So I don't know, man.
there's another scene that I think they could have done something with when he's
Remember, we're not doing it on like they could have. We're doing it
no
on
no
what it
but
is. Yeah.
no okay hear me out, hear me out.
Yeah.
There's a scene where he's being interviewed right by the media for like, oh, they're trying to get points for him being like, no, he's mentally ill, he can't stand trial. And the interviewer is just being very rough with him as far as like, really? So you think it's okay that you just murdered three people? You think that's funny? And Arthur starts to chuckle a little bit and whatnot. Like he's trying to hold it in.
Yeah.
There is something there. And that is going to be my comment throughout the whole video review. That's going to be my comment throughout this is that there is something there with this interviewer only interested in exploiting Arthur for headlines rather than reporting, hey, this dude is not fit to stand trial. Why do they want to execute him other than for political points? Like they're missing so much in this, and there's things that could be done, but instead we're exploiting true crime. We're exploiting people that are not mentally fit. There's something there.
Yeah, but it's not taken all the way with it. And I think it's kind of amazing that we've talked this whole time and we've talked very little on the fact that this is half a musical. Like it because and I will tell you why we haven't talked about it enough. Because the songs add nothing to the movie. They don't even add flair. They don't add anything. Like I think they're supposed to be like a representation of like the Joker found love and now he can feel other things and they're being expressed in this way. And this his twisted mind represents them in a musical way. Sure. Sure, let's say it's that, but a musical, it's supposed to use songs to tell the story, to tell us about the characters, their needs, their wants, their desires, their feelings. If they feel happy, they should be singing about how they're happy. If they feel betrayed, they should be singing about how they're betrayed. The language of musical theater goes, you talk until your feelings are so large that you can't talk anymore and you need to dance. I mean, you sing and then you sing until you dance, until You need your whole body to move. You talk until you sing, and you sing until you dance. That is the mantra of musical theater. I know that because I did theater. A ton of people that did theater know this shit. A ton of people who have never done theater, but they've seen theater, knows this. That's the language of how it works. This movie is ashamed of being a musical because what are these numbers? They are it's the Joker walking around, a few people who are talking. It's every once in a while we cut into this demonic version of the Sonny and Cher show, and every once in a while, we'll have a number of Arthur by himself, but they just cut in the middle of like, okay, I've seen it happen. Let's include a song. The songs are all about the same thing. They're all about, oh, I was alone and now I find love and everything will be okay. Those are all the songs. They're all songs that are pre-existing. They're not bad songs. They were obviously a hit for someone before, but the way that they are integrated into the movie is like, why are you even trying if you're not gonna make them work within your story? They're just there to pass the time. They're just there to say like, hey, we try something weird and different. It's a musical. And the thing is that you're going to drive away all your incel community with this because first of all, they're gonna be turned off by the subtitle in French. They're gonna be turned off by the musical. They're gonna be turned off that I can't relate to him because he's had sex. I can't relate to him because he has a girlfriend now. So there's a lot of this going on, and it's like, okay, if you're not gonna cater to them, and you didn't cater to me on the first one, I'm sure there's people that are going to find some enjoyment out of this movie. I don't doubt it. I'm sure you're out there, you freaks. But sadly, this was not a hit for me. And I hate that in 6 months we're gonna have revisionism of this, where people are gonna be like, you know what, it wasn't that bad actually. It tried to do different things, and then they're gonna watch it again. They're gonna be like, nah, shit, this was bad. It's like every Friday the 13th, some poor soul is like, it's Friday the 13th. I'm gonna watch the first Friday the 13th because I've never seen it, and they're like, this shit sucks, man, and uh, and they don't sit down to watch the rest. So answer me this question: who is this for? Who is this for? Because it's not
I,
for the musical theater nets. It's not. It's not for the little monsters. It's not for the DC fans. It's not for the fans of the first one. Who is this for?
I would argue that. I would say it is for the fans of the first one. It is for the Lady Gaga fans. It is for the DC fans. There's a big difference between who's it for and who did it fail. It failed all of us. But I would argue that they were trying to do something different, and there's something commendable in that. To say, oh, they tried. They failed, but they tried. Um, I would say one of the worst things, like in this, obviously the musical aspect of it is overdone as far as like they say keep playing the same type of song. There's no original music. I'd argue Todd Phillips is not equipped to write musicals. Writing musicals is fucking hard. I cannot imagine that. I imagine you need a background. At the very least, he needed someone that he could trust to write them. Get the person that writes Has Been Hotel. She's great. But the fact is that writing musicals is difficult. So if you're not going to use original songs, you need to use a wide range of music. They can't all be about love songs. Yeah, a few of them can, but not all of them, especially when they're all from a time before we could easily recognize them. I didn't recognize most of the music. I didn't. And here's the thing, if I can't recognize the music and I don't understand the lyrics, how am I supposed to go along in this with you, at the very least? That's part of the appeal. If you have a musical that uses songs that you know, okay, I can go with this. This is badass. Or at the very least, you have to make it clear enough to where we can understand the lyrics and go along with it. That's part of the problem. It does not execute it well because I'd argue Todd Phillips probably has not seen many musicals. Maybe he thought it was a cool idea. Awesome, go with it. But you need to put in the work to make it and execute it properly. Do the choreography, do the singing, do the dancing, go 100%, go all the way. Make this bitch a Willy Wonka, but either go all the way or don't do it at all. One
two
narrative thing,
hundred million dollars, man.
200 million,
200 the 200 million. The first movie was 60, and it
which
made 1 billion.
which there's a from going from the first Deadpool to the second Deadpool, the director kind of stepped back because he said, I don't want the bigger budget. Like, I feel like that's gonna hamper us. And Ryan Reynolds was like, no, fuck that. Let's take the bigger budget. that was the positive version of what happens when you take a small film, inject an extra 100 mil into it, and say go crazy because the first one was a hit. This is the anti Deadpool 2. But real quick, I want to talk about something from a narrative standpoint when it comes to the Joker as a character. There is a part where it no, sorry, there's not a part. The Joker is not an active member of his own film. And let me tell you why. He doesn't ask to be added to the choir thing. It's done for him, right? He does not request that interview to try and show that he's sane. It is done for him. He does not put the bomb in place. It is done for him. All these things are happening to him as a result of his notoriety. He's not being an active member in his own story. He's just experienced the same bullshit as it comes and goes. Also, one thing that I don't think we've talked about yet is the fact that Gotham was a big character in the first film. This mean, ugly, nasty city that'll eat you up and spit you out and then take your lunch money. He is trapped in Arkham almost the entire time. Either in the Arkham, he's either in Arkham or in the courtroom. They don't maximize the courtroom, and they sure as fuck do not maximize Arkham. Now, maybe there were some constraints on what they could do or what they could show because of the Penguin and the Batman and other things. But
What
I'm
with $200 million, you can't show more? You can't do more? You can't make this jail fucking lived in or more of a character, like all consuming?
make Arkham feel like terrifying, like no one wants to be here. You don't go to Arkham and get better, you survive. Make me feel that. Also, why is he in Gen Pop? Even if it's the more dangerous offenders, like I feel like the Joker would be in isolation or seg as they call it.
Yeah.
I just God damn it, man. There's so much that could have been done that this movie falls short. If my expectations were fucking low, somehow this movie dug down in the dirt.
Yeah.
God damn.
There's a they released like the soundtrack of the like all the songs that they're singing,
Mhm.
and Lady Gaga made a statement saying that like, oh, she had to learn how to sing badly for the movie because in the movie they're singing as their characters and their characters are supposed to be not great singers, so there are some parts where they sing off key or they sing roughly, and I know that Lady Gaga can sing, we all know that, and I know that Joaquin Phoenix can sing because he did the Johnny Cash biopic. He's a good singer.
Oh
Like
yeah.
like he's not a bad singer. So the fact that they're trying to, oh, we have to sing bad. It's a musical. You're supposed to sing good. Musical theater actors sing and dance and act well. They all do it well. They don't like, oh, I'm going to sing badly because it's more of my character. And I know that because Lady Gaga decided to release a companion album where she sings the songs from the movie, but she sings them correctly. So that is, I find that, so immediately she was like, no, 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 don't misunderstand me. I can run laps around these songs. Let's fucking go. Uh,
I did it for the shits and or giggles.
yeah, the shits and the giggles and the paycheck. Obviously, poor Lady Gaga. She cannot catch a break in a good movie. Like,
I'm the shallow. I'm not
the
shallows.
movie.
The fucking
No,
Stars
yeah,
Born.
Stars Born. Yeah, she's good and the song is good. That's not a good movie.
I would say I like the movie. Anyway,
It's not. Yeah,
but wait, okay, I want to mention something real quick. The fact that The Shallow was a massive hit. It was a top 40 hit. I think it may have even gotten number one.
yeah.
So either Todd Phillips and or DC in their infinite wisdom was like, oh, you know what? We don't want them to sing well, so we don't have a song on the radio that's going to accompany this movie and make it an even bigger hit because that didn't work for, I don't know, Shallow and Let It Go and or how many other fucking movies.
It doesn't even have to be a big song because remember that song from the first Spider-Verse,
What's Up, Danger?
no, the other one, the Sunflower.
Oh, you're my sunflower. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Do you know that's the most listened song like in the history of the universe? Like
No.
literally, like it has like a record of like it's the most like listened song. like in like according to like all the music streaming and like YouTube and everything, like that's the one with the biggest hits. Like it's I think the idea is like if we meet alien life and we have to show them a song, like that's the song that we're gonna show them. Like it's
According, huh.
yeah.
It says Blinding Lights. It's a small order.
No,
And
that's on Spotify.
let's see.
Yeah.
Most played songs of all time.
Yeah. So Sunflower, I believe it has like the record, like if you put all of them together. I read that somewhere. The point is that it's not a song that they sing in the movie. It's just a song that's playing in the background, and it was just good enough to be like part of our daily life. Because I was literally listening to it while I was driving here, and I don't know what. Like I said, it. What were they afraid of? That people were gonna be like, oh yeah, Joker, the musical. I was like, were they afraid that they were gonna consider that? Like, what? This is a disappointment to me because it doesn't know what it wants to be. And one of two things, and you know, we've had sequels that have divided us. You know, remember when The Last of Us Part Two came out? That was a fucking nightmare.
Oof.
As a person who liked The Last of Us Part Two, it was a fucking nightmare. Um, yeah, just being in that space. This one, I don't think it's gonna cost that. I think people are already kind of made up their minds before watching it. But sadly, and I hate to say this, I think this is a movie that we're gonna forget it came out. I think it's just going to fade off from memory, and I think it's going to tarnish the legacy of the performance that Joaquin Phoenix gave in the first one. Sadly, because in the future we're gonna be like, oh my god, he was so good as a Joker. Oh yeah, but then he made the second one. Yeah, that wasn't that good.
See,
And it's not even a problem. Sorry, I have to say this point. It's just that it's not a problem with sequels because Rocky didn't need a sequel. It really didn't. It won Best Picture. Like it didn't need a sequel, and then they decided to make a second one. It's like, okay, if you're gonna make a second one, might as well, you know, make it a good one. And Rocky 2, I'd go to hell for this. It's better than the first one, okay? And like I'd fight anyone who wants to fight about that. Like,
oh
I'm
God.
sorry, Rocky 2 is better than the first one. It's
Pre-Father
fucking
Eddie would agree
cinema.
with you. No, pre-Father Eddie would fight you. Current Father Eddie is like, no, the sight of my son being born would probably motivate me to beat the shit out of any world champion boxer. Yeah, I see it.
There we go. So
The dad movie among dad movies.
dad movie among dad movies. And yeah, this is not it's not for dads either. Like literally, like I'm gonna tell you this. My dad told me like at the beginning of the year, he's like, I think in Halloween I'm gonna dress like Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I think I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be pretty fun. And then he saw this and he's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna dress like something else.
Fuck. Um,
Yeah.
I think.
So
Oh man. God damn, there's a lot that we just unpacked. Fuck. Okay, can we backtrack and then we can unpack more?
yeah. Let's
All
go.
right. I want to talk about Joker. So Arthur breaks down in the courtroom, not like a mental breakdown, but kind of says like I picked life. Like he says like it's not two, it's me. You know,
Yeah.
I made a mistake. He almost apologizing. And when his followers are walking out, the bomb goes off obviously, but he's apologizing. He chooses life. And his followers kind of let go of him. We then fast forward a little bit after he's recaptured. He's in Arkham. He's on his way to talk to someone. So he has a visitor. I'm curious who, but we never find out because he gets shanked and murdered. And there is something tragic there. Again, and I'll keep saying this, there's something there. There's something sad that Arthur picked life and he still dies. The system still failed him, and we failed him. And the fact that like he dies as he lived, a nobody. Which, funny enough, when I was watching the original, there was a quote that it comes up in his book, and I'll read the quote for word.
Yeah.
Fucking let me pull it up real quick. He
What book?
says, I hope my death has more meaning than my life." Can you imagine if they had executed this film better and it ended with that one line and it's like comes full circle? Even if it's only going to be a duology and we're not going to get a third film, fine. Go all the way with it or don't go at all. There's something to be said about him dying a nobody. Um,
So there is a bit of theorizing about who the person is visiting him. For some people say that it's Harley Quinn. Some people say that it's a 2 year old later Bruce Wayne looking for him because he knows that he caused like the thing that killed his parents. Some people say that it's the Riddler. Some people say that it's um, I don't know. I subscribe to the theory
it was a setup.
that it was a setup. Yeah, that Jackie set it up because this guy was like, set it up for me. I'm gonna shank him. And
Yeah.
Jackie was probably like, fuck it. Yeah, one thing off my back.
What if there was an end credit scene and it was Pennyworth and he paid off the guards to have Joker killed so that way Master Bruce could feel better.
Eddie, I love you. I'm gonna tell you this with all the love in the world.
Shut the fuck up.
Not only shut the fuck up, like I am so tired of oh my god, what if this character shows up and it does this and it's a setup? I'm done. I am done with that. I am done with what if they make a live action out of this and then second I'm done. The award for an animated movie doing well shouldn't be let's make a live action, and the award for a good movie shouldn't be let's make this random character show. Like, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. Okay, make a good movie from the start, and then we'll care about what happens later. We should. This is a wrong mentality to have. That's why I hated that they had like, oh, let's have Harvey Dent, and in the explosion we're gonna burn half of his face. Why? Literally, why? How does that make this a better Joker movie? Oh, that's right, because this is not the Joker. I'm sorry, I had to say it. I love you. I
Mhm.
know what excites you. I know what like what makes you like pop, you know. But if I hear, oh my God, what if like
For the record,
am I depressed at my own age? Like, is that
I
am
think
I
so,
like
man. I think you're
am I
getting too old for movies. I think you need to stop.
No. I'm not too old for movies because we've had good movies that don't do that, that don't need to do that, and they are good. Like they do their job well. They're not caring about like what's gonna happen next. They're caring about making a good movie now. Okay, and this movie broke me, man. Like this movie, like it's so weird because like before this, I went to see the movie Look Back.
Mhm.
And when I left the theater, I went with my friend Jimmy and we left the movie Look Back and he was crying. And we kind of turned to each other and he's like, are you crying? And he said, yeah. And he was like, you're not. And I was like, no, I love art. I love movies. Like, I love fiction. I love what this made me feel. This movie reminded me of why I love the creative process and why I love putting the effort and details and writing for yourself and making art for yourself. Like at the bottom of your heart, you should make art that makes you happy. And there was a huge conversation because there was a dialogue where they had a guy from Pixar that went to visit Studio Ghibli around the time that Inside Out 2 came out. And they were talking about Inside Out and about Boy and the Heron. And the guy from Pixar was like, "Well, we're thinking like we do these focus groups, and then we show it to an audience, and then we work out what the audience like, and then we work on that, and then we try to do like okay, like the audience likes this, we're gonna work on making like what does the audience want." And Miyazaki, just this cool ass old grandpa, just smoking a cigarette, just goes like, "I never think about the audience.
I just tell a story. Fuck them.
Like I do, like I make the movie that I want to do."
Love it.
And I know that it's hard when it's a big studio. I know that it's hard when it's a recognizable IP. But if you are an artist and you want to tell a story, you're gonna be like, by my balls, we're going to tell this story, and by my balls, we're going to tell this. I'm trying to translate it from Spanish. It's not a great job, but like it's really it sounds really cool. You have no idea how smart I am in Spanish, and and but
Okay,
by
Gloria.
my What?
Okay, Gloria.
It's true, okay? Anyway, by my balls, we're gonna do it like this. And he should have been like he should have come in swinging. He should have come out with he should have put his dick in the desk and be like, my movie made $1 billion.
He
Let me go
did.
all the
Here's the
way.
thing. Here's the thing. Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted your thought. Keep going, and then I'll tell you why you're wrong.
That's it. I would say that that's the thing, but like, no. The problem here, and I'm gonna say this, and it sucks to say, but it's the truth. Todd Phillips is just not a very good director. He's not a very good storyteller. And I think that plus a combination of Warner, which we now know that it's a huge cesspool of like anything, any project can be killed at any moment, and they're constantly trying to retry and try to do something new. It's sad, man. Like this movie had no chance. That's why when we came out of the movie and I texted you, I was like, "There's no universe where this movie works," and you said like, "No, I think there is." You can tell me your rewrites. You can tell me like this other idea that you have, but it's just not gonna be this movie. It's gonna be your movie,
Mhm.
and there's no universe where this movie is good. There's no else words where it works.
Well, my version works, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, but that's like that's gonna be your story, not this.
I think here's the thing, man. I would say the problem is, did you? Okay, let's rewind a
Yeah.
long bit. Did you enjoy Wonder Woman 1984? Be honest. As a DC
There's
fanboy.
there's parts of it that I like, but there are like way less parts. I enjoyed more the first one than the second one. I don't feel ever like watching the second one again. I don't hate it, but I didn't register. Like it came in, came out.
Okay. The
Yeah,
difference between the first and the second one was the second one they gave the director complete control. They gave Patty Jenkins complete creative control. They let her loose.
yeah,
In the first Joker film, Todd Phillips was fighting, going back and forth, tooth and nail for the film. In this one, Warner Brothers said, "Here's 200 mil, make it work." They let him loose. I think Miyazaki is a very, did I pronounce it correctly?
yeah.
Miyazaki is very much an anomaly in giving an artist or an author complete creative control. I don't think we can, because when we do try to do that, I have seen a lot more failures than successes as far as they need to have pushback. It's a multi-creative process. It is rare that an author can make a film without pushback and it be good. And let me just make this even more clear. Would you call James Gunn, Quentin Tarantino, and Christopher Nolan good directors?
Yes,
Okay. Here's the thing about their teams. They all have a get back guy. They all have someone that will call them on their bullshit and say, no, this is a bad idea. All three have gone on record as stating that in Nolan's case, it's his wife and his brother. James Gunn, his team that he's had for years. Quentin Tarantino, his team that he's had for years. They will call him out and say, hey, this is a bad idea. Don't do this. And he respects them enough to listen and say, okay, if if my fucking wife is telling me that this idea is bad, maybe I should cut it, right?
yeah.
An unfiltered author very rarely ever makes something 100% good. I would argue the biggest reason why Joker Folie failed is
You don't have
no.
to like make fun. It's French. Like
Yeah, I'm
it's
gonna
not like a
fuck the
gross
French.
word.
Fuck them and their fucking bagels or whatever. I'm kidding.
Baguette.
Your baguettes, thank you. Your food is actually very good. Um, I,
I mean, you don't have to say like disgusting. It's like it's just in another language. I know you're
I'm
white, but like
disgusted in this movie. That's why. And the French kind of, disgust me, but that's besides the point.
oh
Uh,
god.
can I be offensive to the French?
I
Fuck,
think
we
it's
don't have
like
any
the
French listeners, unless they
I
check
think
me.
it's one of the last groups of people that you can be.
Offensive to?
I will say this about the French. They are like they are the only people that know how to riot properly. Like
That's a fair point, actually. Bring it on.
and yeah, and they're bringing back the guillotine, so
Are they really?
yeah, I mean they invented it, so
No, but is someone going to be executed via guillotine? That's awesome.
I mean, they're trying to, but you
I
know.
would see that. I would. They should like brought. I would donate. I'd fucking donate.
Anyway,
Anyway,
go back.
give them their Patreon and I'll donate. Anyway, that's the fuck was I going with this? Oh, an unfiltered author is very rarely a good thing. If the greatest directors of our age are saying like, no, I need people to call me out, then so too need the middle directors, the middle of the road that are doing a good job but could be better. You need someone to call you out and say this is a bad idea and challenge you. That's the only way you ever get better. The biggest reason I would argue that this film failed is because no one told Todd Phillips, no, you can't. That's the worst thing that could have happened. The fact that James Gunn gave him notes and the notes were not used, the fact that Nolan was not there to filter him, because apparently in the first one, Nolan gave a lot of notes on the first one. I'm not
Yep.
saying he made the first Joker. I'm saying he provided a, hey man, I know what you've been through. I pulled this character. I pulled this shit. Here's some thoughts. Here's some ideas. The fact that Matt Reeves probably didn't give any notes or ideas is unfortunate in this film. And yes, they can be producers, but there's a big difference between them being producers and being able to tell a guy, hey, no, the fuck you don't.
I have one last thing that I would like to just as a stepping stone for the future.
Okay.
So the movie has made $39 million domestic.
What?
$39 million domestic. The movie
Okay.
has made. So just in the US. 77 million in international. Worldwide, it's at 116 million, which is half of the budget
Of the film?
of the film. I think, and I saw a note saying that this raked in less money than Morbius when it came out on its first weekend. So this had a worse first weekend than Morbius. I think, and this is me thinking, just putting it out there.
Mhm.
I think audiences just don't want movies starring straight white men. I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem right there. I think the problem is obviously the audience doesn't want straight white men in the front of their movies. That is the problem, and we need to eradicate it and never let another straight white director direct a big studio movie again. Because those two things definitely prove that that is the problem. There is no other thing. There's no other problem. That is the problem. Audiences do not want straight white men at the front of their movies. So let's do away with that. That let's not give them another chance ever again. That's the problem, right?
I know where you're going with this, and you're right.
That's the problem. That's the problem, right?
It is the problem. Yeah, it's them.
Yeah,
It's completely them.
yeah. That's the problem. So let's just not make movies about, with starring white men and directed by white men. Let's not do this anymore because these two single failures, prove that there is a change in the atmosphere in the air. And none of those anymore. Let's not do that. Let's just let it to everyone else and not them because that's the problem.
You know what's funny? There was supposed to be a DC Black film series, and I believe this film just killed that series.
What else? What else could they have done? No, you know what? Don't give me ideas.
And for
I'm good.
DC Black,
No, you know what? Don't even start. I'm going to get depressed. Like this is
I mean, Batman Damned is not a bad one to go with, but
oh God. Superman 2025 directed by James Gunn. You cannot come soon enough.
oh God. But this movie, again, in my case, I think it hurts more
Yeah.
for me because of what it's not, of what it could have been.
Are you ready to put this to bed? Or do you have more?
There's so many more directions that this movie could have gone, and somehow Todd Phillips picked all the wrong ones, and that's disappointing. Um, I was so optimistic going into 2024 because we were only going to get two superhero films. We were only going to get
Yeah.
Deadpool and Joker. That was it. And I was like, okay, I can do this. All right, two high quality films. One is starring Ryan Reynolds as the character that he loves, along with Hugh Jackman. The other one is coming off a $1 billion rated R Oscar bait film. that the main actor won an Oscar for. It's going to be something different with it being a musical with Lady Gaga, who's someone who I actually really like. I thought, you know what? It's going to be a hell of a year for comic book films because we're only getting two, but fuck the quality of the two. And not with a bang, but with a wet fart, we get Joker Folie Deux. God.
It's
And
kind of interesting because like only two movies. The Marvel movie was a success. The DC movie sucked. It's kind of like we're back at the way things are supposed to be, right?
why do you hurt me so? Why do you hurt me so?
Look,
I've always been good to you. I've always,
we're
I've,
getting
I've
Superman next year.
opened
You're
my
gonna
home.
win.
I've opened my home to you. I literally have a Chema room for you with an air mattress. I've welcomed you into my home, into my family. You were standing there when I got married as a groomsman. You
Oh
are
yes.
blood of my blood. You are my brother. What the fuck?
I have to. I'm sorry. It's one of those things that, like, the moment that I
You gotta
can't
kick me in the
not.
balls every time?
I don't kick you in the balls. I'm stating facts. Besides, next year you're getting Superman. You're gonna win next year. Like
I
there's
what's out
no.
of what are we getting next year? We're getting Thunderbolts. What else? We're getting Phase 5. Are we supposed to get Blade next year? But
That movie's never gonna get made.
all I
No.
know,
I believe
Thunderbolts
next
and Captain
year we're
America.
getting, yeah, Thunderbolts and Captain America, and I think Fantastic Four is next year. I think.
No, I think it's in July next year, actually. Yes, it is. It's
Oh
releasing
shit.
2 weeks after Superman. And then we're getting Blade next. Holy fuck, we are getting Blade next year if we get.
We're never gonna get
Dude,
Blade.
why is Marvel doing 4 films in a single year? This is a bad idea. Do
It is a
three
bad
at
idea.
most.
It is a bad idea. And they're not stopping on the shows either. So, which by the way, Agatha all along, I don't know, I haven't started it. But I haven't started the Penguin either, so
Oh, Penguin's a great crime film. A great.
I've I've, I've heard. I do want to see it.
They haven't even mentioned Batman once. Like it's a great crime show whose characters happen to be named Oswald Cobblepot and Sophia Falcone.
That's the mother, right?
Who? Oswald Cobblepot?
No, the Sophia.
No,
That's
no,
the
no, that's
mother.
no. That's the daughter. That's technically it.
No, I mean she's the mother in How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, she's scary.
Great.
Dude, she's scary. Man.
Great.
And I'm back.
Let's go.
Folks, don't mind that transition where Chema has his lights on now for no reason. Uh the continuity, Chema, the continuity. But anyway.
I was getting scared. And anyway,
Speaking of scary,
yeah.
you want to talk about this movie's final thoughts, final score?
I'm gonna tell you what I put on my letterbox review. I put 1 star, and then I wrote, "This is what I get for going in with an open mind."
That's mean. That's fair. Um, God, I'm giving this movie a 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. You're being nice.
You know what though? You know why? Because it's giving me so much to think about, and I appreciate that, folks. Before this, I texted Chema earlier that this movie, and Chema actually responded pretty funny, but
Yeah,
this movie got me thinking so much about rewrites and interpretation that I've written 17 pages in 13 hours, and I was asleep for 6 of those hours. Like, it's really making me think about what it could have done, what it could have been, and for that, I appreciate it, if nothing else. I appreciate that part of this movie. At least it made me think. And for that, I give it a 3. Am I going to go back and watch it? Honestly, maybe in like 6 months after it's on Max, so I can go back and re-examine it and be like, okay, where else did this movie fail? I don't think this is going to be one of those movies that we all go back. It could be like The Exorcist and the original Godfather that were panned initially, and then people went back and were like, no, this is actually pretty fucking great. I don't see that happening. I
yeah,
don't.
me neither.
I don't see this being called a classic in 20 and 30 years. But I am interested to see what didn't I see the first time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in seeing this again. I'm going to tell everyone that's listening to this that if you're looking for a movie to watch this weekend or during the week, if you're a freak like me, um, Look Back is still in theaters. The Wild Robot is in theaters. We're getting interesting other things in theaters. This might not be the one. I don't recommend it. I don't want to sit down and watch it again on Max. I don't want to think about this movie anymore. Like I don't think I'm gonna think about this movie very much like in like later. Um so I'm just with this review, I release it. I let it go and I move on to bigger and better things. So
No, you know what? You're gonna
yeah.
think of this movie at least one more time.
When?
Whenever I do my goddamn Joker rewrite, you're gonna fucking watch it. And I
Oh yeah,
guarantee
of course, of course.
it will
I
be a
will wish
better
that.
version that this movie wishes it could have been.
But until then, I want to thank you all for listening to us and for yeah, I think we went a little long. How long have we been?
About an hour and 25 minutes, maybe 30
Jesus
minutes.
Christ. Okay. Well, yeah, we're gonna leave you all with our thoughts, and please leave yours with us so that we can go back and forth. It could be pretty fun. So I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, are we doing our top fives Halloweens next week or?
Yeah, that actually sounds fun. Yeah, let's wash our mouth out of this Joker bullshit.
And do you want to do? Would you like to do look back? Like, would that interest you or?
What do you mean?
So it's the movie that I mentioned that like when Jimmy and I left it, we were like shit. Like so, look back. It's very short. It's only an hour long, and it's based on a manga made by Fujimoto, who also did Chainsaw Man. So it's a very short movie, just an hour long, and it's in theater. I think it's gonna be it's a limited release only in theaters. Um,
It'll be released, but I can find it. Yeah, I'm down to watch it.
Okay. Yeah, let's try to shoot for that one. If not, we'll just do our top fives Halloween movies next year. But this movie, man, Look Back made me like fall in love with the creative process again. Like I was bawling. It was so genius.
I am down to put that to the fucking test.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to do look back next week. If in case we don't, we'll do our top fives of the year. I mean, not tops of the year, top five Halloween, just movies that we like that are spooky, that are scary, that are just good for the Halloween season. And we'll go from this shit to that shit. Thank you so much for joining us. My name was Chema,
I've been Eddie.
and this was the rollback. Signing off. I'm gonna let you do the reminder.
With the reminder, let's get serious for a second. Your health is important. If you need help, please seek it. Don't be Arthur Fleck. Get help.
But he seeked help. There was just no help.
That's true. The system failed him.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Reminder: if you go to Sinaloa, don't complain about the music.
That too. Also, no, I got nothing else.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone. Oh, wait. I was about to close the meeting.